You are the only one who survived this test, and the realm above is shocked. Stop for a moment. Do not scroll. Do not click away. There is a reason you are here right now, reading these words, feeling something stir in your chest. This is not random. Out of millions of videos, out of endless distractions, out of everything fighting for your attention tonight, you landed here. And I need you to understand something before we go any further. This video was not made for everyone. It was made for one person. And that person is you. You clicked on this because something inside you already knows the truth. You have been through something that should have broken you. You have walked through fire that nobody saw. You have carried weight that nobody helped you lift. And somehow, against all odds, you are still here. Still breathing. Still searching. Still hoping. That is not an accident. That is not luck. That is the mark of someone who was built for more. But before I tell you what that mark means, stay with me because what comes next will completely change how you see everything you have been through. Every closed door, every betrayal, every night you cried yourself to sleep wondering what you did wrong. I am about to show you the truth that has been hidden in plain sight this whole time. Most chosen ones will never hear this, not because it is hidden, but because they scroll past it too soon. They let the algorithm pull them away. They let doubt whisper that this is just another video, just another voice, just another empty promise. And so they leave. They miss what was meant for them. They walk away from the very message that could have changed everything. Do not be one of them. You have already survived too much to turn back now. I see you, chosen one. I see the exhaustion behind your eyes that you hide from everyone. I see the way you smile in public while breaking in private. I see the questions that keep you awake at 3 in the morning. Why me? Why this? Why now? Why does it feel like I am fighting battles nobody understands? Why does it feel like I am running a race with no finish line in sight? I see it all, and I need you to know that those feelings are not signs of weakness. They are signs of someone being prepared for something extraordinary. You were not supposed to make it this far. Do you understand that? The obstacles you faced were not ordinary obstacles. The pain you endured was not ordinary pain. There was a weight placed on your shoulders that was designed to make you quit. It was designed to make you bitter. It was designed to make you give up on yourself and settle for a smaller life. But you did not break. You bent. You bled. You fell to your knees more times than you can count. But you did not stay down. Something in you refused to stay down. And that something is exactly why you are hearing this message right now. By the time this video ends, you will understand why your life has felt so hard when others seem to coast through theirs. You will understand why certain people had to leave and why certain doors had to close in your face. You will understand why the silence you have been sitting in was never punishment, but preparation. And most importantly, you will understand what is coming for you next. Because something is coming. Something that will make every tear worth it. Something that will make every doubter regret the day they counted you out. I am not here to give you empty motivation that fades by tomorrow morning. I am here to show you a truth about yourself that you have sensed your whole life but never had the words for. You have always felt different. Not better than others, just different. Like you were watching life from behind a glass wall. Like you understood things. that people around you could not grasp. Like you were waiting for something, but you could never figure out what. That feeling was never a flaw. That feeling was a signal. And tonight, I am going to help you decode it. So settle in. Turn off your distractions. Let this message wash over you without resistance. You have spent so long being strong for everyone else. You have spent so long searching for answers in places that had nothing to give you. Tonight is different. Tonight, the answers come to you. Tonight, you finally hear what your soul has been starving to hear. If you are ready to receive this, if you are ready to finally understand why you are here and what you have been through, type Amen in the comments right now. Let that be your signal that you are not running anymore. Let that be your declaration that you are ready to face the truth about who you really are. Let me tell you about a test you never signed up for. A test with no instructions, no time limit, no one to tell you whether you were passing or failing. You have been taking this test for years, chosen one, some of you for decades. And the cruelest part is that nobody ever told you it was happening. You thought it was just your life. You thought you were simply unlucky. You thought the people around you had it easier because they were more blessed or more deserving. But that was never the truth. The truth is that you were being filtered, and almost everyone else failed where you kept going. Think back to the last few years of your life. Think about what fell apart. The relationship that ended without warning. The job that disappeared. The friendship that dissolved into silence. The opportunity that slipped through your fingers right when you thought it was finally yours. Think about the moments when you looked around and wondered why everything seemed to crumble. No matter how hard you tried, you blamed yourself. You told yourself you were cursed. You wondered if there was something fundamentally wrong with you that made good things run away. I need you to release that lie right now, because what happened to you was not punishment. It was filtration. Do not move past this part, because this is where most chosen ones miss what was meant for them. Here is something almost no one understands about difficult seasons. They are not random. They are not meaningless chaos. They are sorting mechanisms. They separate those who will give up from those who will keep standing. They reveal who has the internal architecture to carry something greater, and who will crumble under pressure. And chosen one, you did not crumble. You came close. There were nights when you thought you could not take another day. There were mornings when getting out of bed felt like climbing a mountain with no peak. But you did it anyway. You kept breathing. You kept trying. You kept hoping even when hope felt foolish. That was not weakness. That was you passing a test that most people fail in silence. Here is the hidden pain I know you carry. You never got credit for surviving. Nobody threw you a parade for making it through. Nobody sat you down and said, "I see how hard that was, and I am proud of you for not quitting." You just kept going, and the world kept demanding more. So part of you wonders if any of it even mattered. Part of you feels like you suffered for nothing. That part of you is wrong. Your survival was recorded. Your endurance was measured. And what you built inside yourself during those brutal seasons is about to become the very thing that qualifies you for what is next. You passed. Chosen one. You passed a test that was designed to break you. And because you passed, something is being prepared for you that could never be given to someone who quit. If the had hit you somewhere deep, type "I survived" in the comments. Let that be your mark. Let that be your testimony that you are still here and you are still standing. And what I am about to share next, almost no one talks about this, but it will change everything about why you specifically were selected for this level of difficulty. So you passed the test, but now comes the question that has been burning in your chest for years. Why you? Out of everyone in your family, why were you the one who had to carry the heaviest load? Out of everyone in your circle, why were you the one who faced obstacle after obstacle while others seemed to glide through life untouched? Why did your path have to be so hard when you never asked for any of it? I am about to answer that question. And the answer might shake something loose inside you that has been locked away for a very long time. You were not chosen because life was easy for you. You were not selected because you had advantages or connections or a head start. You were chosen because of something that lives inside you. Something old, something unbreakable. There is a fire in your core that refuses to go out no matter how much water gets thrown on it. Other people would have quit by now. Other people would have become bitter, given up on their dreams, and accepted a smaller life. But not you. Even when you felt like quitting. Even when the words, "I am done," left your mouth. Something in you kept going anyway. That something is exactly why you are here, right now. That something is why you were selected for this test in the first place. Stay with me here, 'cause what I am about to say is something most people never realize about themselves. You did not develop your strength because of your struggles. Your strength was already there. The struggles simply revealed it. You came into this world carrying a resilience that does not make sense. N paper. You should have broken by now based on what you have been through. The math does not add up. The trauma you experienced, the losses you endured, the loneliness you swallowed in silence, all of it should have hollowed you out, but it did not. And that is not normal. That is not common. That is the mark of someone who was built differently from the very beginning. Here is the truth no one says out loud. You were never broken. You were never forgotten. You were always exactly where you needed to be. The isolation you felt was not rejection from life. It was protection. It was preparation. You were being kept separate because what is inside you could not afford to be contaminated by people and environments that would have diluted your power. I know that sounds strange. I know part of you wants to argue with it. But look at your life honestly. Every time you tried to fit in somewhere you did not belong, it fell apart. Every time you forced yourself into spaces that were not meant for you, something pushed you back out. That was not failure. That was redirection. You were being guarded for something specific. The hidden pain you carry is this. You have always felt like you were meant for something more. But the evidence of your life seemed to say otherwise. You felt the calling in your bones, but saw no proof of it in your circumstances. And that gap between what you sensed and what you saw almost drove you crazy. You wondered if you were delusional. You wondered if that feeling of destiny was just ego or wishful thinking. It was not. That feeling was accurate. You simply had not reached the part of the story where it starts making sense yet. But you are closer than you think. If you have carried that feeling your whole life, that quiet knowing that you were meant for more even when nothing around you reflected it, type 1111 in the comments right now. That is your number. That is your signal. Let it be your confirmation that what you have always sensed about yourself was real. And what comes next is something I do not share lightly, because it explains why so many people who started alongside you are no longer in the race. I need to tell you something that might be uncomfortable to hear, but you need to hear it because it will help you understand your own value. You were not the only one who started this race. There were others, many others, people who felt the same calling you felt, people who carried the same potential you carry, people who stood at the same starting line with fire in their eyes and hope in their hearts. But when you look around now, most of them are gone. They did not make it. And the reason they did not make it has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with what happens when pressure meets the soul. Some of them quit when the first wave of hardship hit. They thought the path would be smoother. They thought feeling called to something meant the road would be paved with ease. So when the storms came, they walked away. They told themselves it was not meant to be. They convinced themselves that struggle was a sign to stop, rather than a sign to keep going. And just like that, they returned to ordinary lives, not because they lacked potential, but because they lacked the endurance to see it through. Others made it further. They pushed through the first round of difficulty. They survived the initial losses and setbacks. But then came the silence, the long stretch of nothing, no signs, no progress, no validation. Just day after day of grinding with no visible reward. That season broke them. They could handle the pain, but they could not handle the waiting. They needed proof that their efforts mattered, and when the proof did not come fast enough, they abandoned the mission. They settled for less. They shrunk their dreams to fit their patience. Do not scroll past this part, because this is where you need to see yourself clearly. You went through the same storms. You sat in the same silence. You faced the same temptation to quit and settle and shrink. But something in you said no. Something in you decided that you would rather keep suffering in pursuit of your purpose than live comfortably in the wrong life. That decision was not small. That decision separated you from the masses. That decision is why you are still here, listening to this message while so many others are not. Here is something most people do not realize about survival. It is not the loud moments that determine who makes it. It is the quiet ones. It is the random Tuesday night when nobody is watching and you choose to keep believing anyway. It is the morning after a devastating loss when you get up and try again, even though every part of you wants to stay down. Those invisible choices are what separate the chosen from the almost chosen. And you have been making those choices over and over again without anyone applauding you for it. The hidden pain you carry is that you watch some of them leave. People you thought would be beside you for the whole ride. Friends who shared your vision. Family who said they believed in you. Partners who promised to stay. They started with you, but they could not finish with you. And their departure made you question yourself. It made you wonder if you were the crazy one for continuing. You were not crazy. You were just built for a longer race than they were. If you are still here, still standing, still fighting despite everything that tried to stop you, I need you to hit the like button right now. Not for me, for you. Let it be a marker in this moment that says, I made it this far, and I am not stopping now. Let it be your badge of endurance. And what I am about to share, XT will explain exactly what was being built inside you during those long seasons of silence when it felt like nothing was happening at all. There was a season in your life when everything went quiet. The phone stopped ringing. The invitations stopped coming. The people who used to check on you slowly faded into silence. You found yourself alone more than you had ever been. And in that silence, you wondered if you had been forgotten. You wondered if you had done something wrong. You wondered if the whole world had moved on without you, while you sat still, watching life happen to everyone else through a screen. That season hurt in ways you still have not fully processed, but I need you to understand what was actually happening during that time. Because it was not punishment. It was not abandonment. It was a classroom. And you were the only student enrolled. The silent season is where chosen ones are truly made, not in the spotlight, not in the crowded rooms, not in the seasons of applause and validation. The real construction happens in secret. It happens when no one is watching. It happens in the hours you spent alone with your thoughts, wrestling with your pain, facing parts of yourself you had been avoiding for years. That was not wasted time. That was the most productive season of your entire life, even though it felt like nothing was happening. Stay with me on this, because what I am about to tell you is something most people never connect. The version of you that is about to step into your next season could not have been built in public. There were lessons you needed to learn that required isolation. There were weaknesses that needed to be confronted without distraction. There were parts of your character that needed to be refined in the fire of solitude. If people had been around, you would have performed for them. You would have hidden your cracks. You would have stayed busy enough to avoid the deep work. The silence forced you to face yourself, and in facing yourself, you became someone new. Here's the truth no one says out loud. Loneliness and aloneness are not the same thing. You felt lonely because you craved connection. But you were placed alone because connection at that time would have slowed you down. The people who were meant to walk with you into your next chapter had not arrived yet, and the people who were around you at the time were not equipped to handle where you were going. So the silence served as a holding space. It kept you protected until you were ready, and until the right people were ready to find you. The hidden pain you carry from that season is that you thought your suffering was invisible. You thought no one saw the nights you cried yourself to sleep. You thought no one noticed the anxiety attacks, the moments of despair, the prayers whispered into empty rooms. You thought all of that pain evaporated into nothing. It did not. Every tear was collected. Every silent battle was recorded. Every time you chose to keep going when giving up would have been easier, it was noted. You were never unseen. You were being watched more closely in that season than in any other. If you grew the most during the time when no one was watching, type Amen in the comments right now. Let that be your testimony. Let that be your acknowledgement that the silent season did its work in you. You are not the same person who entered that wilderness. You are sharper now, clearer now, stronger in ways that have not even been tested yet. And what I am about to share next is going to explain why the people who doubted you and dismissed you during that season could never see what was actually happening inside you. Now that you understand what was being built in you during the silence, we need to talk about the people who could not see it. The ones who looked right at you and saw nothing special. The ones who doubted your potential dismissed your dreams, and made you feel small when you dared to speak about the future you believed in. This part of your story has caused you more pain than you like to admit. Because rejection from strangers is one thing, but rejection from people who were supposed to love you, support you, believe in you, that cuts in a different way. And I need to tell you why it happened. Not to excuse them, but to free you from carrying the weight of their blindness any longer. The people who underestimated you were not equipped to see what you carry. This is not an insult to them. It is simply the truth. Recognition requires capacity. A person can only perceive greatness in someone else if they have the internal framework to understand it. If someone has never dreamed beyond their circumstances, they cannot comprehend your vision. If someone has settled into a life of safety and smallness, your hunger for more looks like foolishness to them. They did not reject you because you lacked value. They rejected you because your value was stored in a language they could not read. Do not rush past this part, because this reframe will change how you see every rejection you have ever experienced. When someone dismissed you, it was never a verdict on your worth. It was a revelation of their limitations. They could only see what their experience had trained them to see, and nothing in their experience had prepared them for someone like you. So they called you too much, too intense, too sensitive, too unrealistic. They tried to shrink you down to a size they could understand. But you were never meant to fit in their frame. You were always meant to outgrow it. Here is something most people never consider about being overlooked. It was a form of protection. If everyone had seen what you carry, from the beginning, you would have been swarmed before you were ready. You would have attracted attention that your younger self could not have handled. The same light that draws the right people also attracts those who want to use, manipulate, or drain you. By keeping your gifts hidden in plain sight, you were shielded until you developed the discernment to know the difference. The invisibility was not a curse, it was a cloak. The hidden wound you carry is that part of you started believing them. When enough people look at you like you are ordinary, you begin to wonder if they are right. When enough voices tell you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to stop dreaming so big, a small part of you surrenders. You stop talking about your visions out loud. You learn to keep your fire hidden so others would not try to blow it out. That survival strategy made sense at the time. But I need you to know that their inability to see you says nothing about what is actually inside you. You dimmed yourself for people who were never worthy of your full light. Here is the truth no one says out loud. The right people will not need you to convince them. When those aligned with your destiny cross your path, they will see it immediately. They will sense what you carry without you having to explain or prove yourself. Recognition from the right ones will feel effortless because it will not be based on performance. It will be based on resonance. And those people are closer than you think. If you have been underestimated your whole life, if people have looked past you and counted you out, type 777 in the comments right now. Let that number stand as your declaration that their blindness did not define you and their doubt did not stop you. And what I am about to reveal next will show you the signs that your season of being overlooked is finally coming to an end. You have been feeling something lately, have you not? Something you cannot quite explain. A restlessness in your chest. A strange sense that the air around your life is shifting. You have noticed Small things that you almost dismissed as coincidence. A name that keeps appearing, a number that follows you everywhere. A conversation with a stranger that felt oddly specific to what you have been praying about. Opportunities knocking softly at doors you thought were sealed forever. You have been wondering if you are making it up or if something is actually happening. Let me put your mind at ease. You are not making it up. The shift is real, and it has already begun. What you are experiencing right now is the turning of your season. The long winter is ending. The ground that felt frozen and dead beneath your feet is starting to thaw. Things that refused to move for years are beginning to loosen. You can feel it even if you cannot prove it yet. There is a momentum building in your life that was not there 6 months ago. It is subtle right now, but it is accelerating faster than you realize. And the very fact that you clicked on this video at this exact moment is part of the pattern. Nothing about this is random. You are being guided into position for something you have been waiting for your entire life. Do not skip past this, because what I am about to tell you will help you recognize the signs more clearly. When a season is shifting, it does not announce itself with fireworks. It whispers. It sends small signals to see if you are paying attention. The person who suddenly reaches out after years of silence. The idea that dropped into your mind at 3 in the morning and will not leave you alone. The door that cracked open just enough for you to see light on the other side. These are not accidents. These are breadcrumbs, and they are leading you somewhere specific. Here, something most people do not understand about timing. You cannot rush a season change, but you can miss it. The shift will happen whether you are ready or not, but your ability to receive what is coming depends on your awareness. Some people are so stuck in the pain of yesterday that they cannot see the blessing standing right in front of them today. They keep looking backward while the future is trying to get their attention. I do not want that to be you. Your past served its purpose. It taught you, shaped you, and strengthened you. But it is no longer your home. Your new season is calling you forward, and it needs your full attention now. The hidden fear you carry is that you have been wrong before. You have felt hope rise up in your chest in the past, only to watch it get crushed. You have seen what looked like open doors slam shut in your face. So part of you is hesitant to believe that this time is different. Part of you is protecting yourself from disappointment by keeping your expectations low. I understand that instinct, but I need you to hear me clearly. This time is different. Not because the circumstances are easier, but because you are different. The version of you standing here today has been forged in fire. You are ready in ways you were not ready before, and what is coming can feel that readiness. Here is the truth no one says out loud. The shift does not just happen to you. It happens with you. Your belief matters. Your expectation matters. Your willingness to receive matters. So, let this moment be your stake in the ground. Let this be the moment you stop bracing for disappointment and start preparing for overflow. If you have felt the shift beginning, if you have sensed that something is changing even though you cannot fully explain it yet, type "My time is now" in the comments. Speak it into existence. Claim it with your words. And what I am about to describe next is exactly what is waiting for you on the other side of this shift. Now let me show you what is waiting on the other side of this shift. Because you have spent so long focused on survival, that you have almost forgotten what it feels like to dream about thriving. You have been in defensive mode for years, just trying to make it through each day, each week, each month, without falling apart. But that chapter is closing, and the chapter that is opening looks nothing like where you have been. What is coming for you is not just relief, it is abundance. It is not just an end to the struggle, it is the beginning of overflow. Everything you lost is being returned to you, but not in the same form. It is coming back multiplied. The years that felt wasted, the opportunities that slipped away, the relationships that crumbled, the money that disappeared, the time you thought was stolen from you. None of it is gone forever. It was being held, it was being collected, and now it is being prepared for release. You are about to enter a season where things come to you faster than you can explain. Doors will open that you did not knock on. People will find you that you did not seek. Resources will show up that you did not chase. This is not fantasy. This is the reward that follows the test. And you pass the test. Stay with me here, because what I am about to say is something most people never learn about receiving. The reason so many people miss their breakthrough is not because it does not come. It is because they do not recognize it when it arrives. They expect abundance to look a certain way. They expect it to come from a certain direction. So when it shows up wearing different clothes and knocking on an unexpected door, they turn it away. Do not make that mistake. Your blessing might not look like you imagined. It might come through a stranger. It might arrive disguised as an inconvenience. It might show up in a city you never planned to visit, or a conversation you almost avoided. Keep your eyes open. What is yours is looking for you, just as much as you have been looking for it. Here is the truth. No one says out loud, you are not just going to recover, you are going to exceed. The life you are stepping into will not simply match what you had before things fell apart. It will surpass it so dramatically that you will barely recognize your own story. The version of success waiting for you is bigger than the version you originally asked for. The delay was not a denial. It was an upgrade in disguise. And when you finally hold in your hands what has been prepared for you, you will understand why it could not come sooner. You were not ready, but you are ready now. The hidden fear you carry is that you do not deserve it. Somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers that good things are for other people. That voice was planted by years of disappointment. It was watered by every time you watched someone else get what you wanted while you sat empty-handed. But that voice is a liar. You are not disqualified from blessing because you struggled. You are qualified because of how you carried yourself in the struggle. Your character in the fire is exactly what makes you trustworthy enough for the reward. If you are ready to stop blocking your own blessing, if you are ready to open your hands and receive what has been held for you, type I receive in the comments right now. Let those words be your agreement. Let them be your signal that you are no longer pushing away what is trying to reach you. And what I am about to share next will reveal the real reason you survived all of this. It is bigger than just your own story. Now I need to tell you something that will change how you see everything you have been through. You did not survive just for yourself. I-N. Ow, that sounds heavy. I know part of you just wanted to make it through for your own peace, your own healing, your own chance at happiness. And yes, all of that is coming to you. But there is a bigger reason you were kept alive through the fire. There are people out there right now who are stuck in the same darkness you crawled through. They are crying the same tears you cried. They are asking the same questions you asked. And they need someone who understands. They need someone who has been where they are and made it to the other side. That someone is you. Your pain was never pointless. It was preparation for purpose. Every wound you survived has given you a language that comfortable people will never speak. You know what it feels like to be abandoned. You know what it feels like to doubt your own worth. You know what it feels like to pray for change and hear nothing but silence. That knowledge is not a burden. It is a gift you will give to others. When you speak to someone who is struggling, your words will land differently because they will know you are not just quoting advice from a book. You lived it. You bled through it. And that authenticity will cut through their defenses and reach the part of them that has been hiding from everyone else. Do not move past this part, because this is where your story gets bigger than you ever imagined. The version of you that emerges from this season will not just change your own life. You will become a turning point in the lives of people you have not even met yet. A single conversation with you will pull someone back from the edge. A single moment of your presence will remind someone that surviving is possible. You are being groomed for influence, not the shallow kind that chases followers and applause. The real kind. The kind that reaches into someone's darkest moment and pulls them toward the light. Here is something most Opal never realize about their own suffering. It was building a testimony. Every trial was adding a chapter to a story that will one day bring hope to someone who has lost all of theirs. You thought you were just trying to stay alive, but you were being written into a rescue mission. The same situations that almost destroyed you are the exact qualifications you needed for the assignment waiting ahead. No one can help a broken person like someone who knows what broken feels like. And you know deeply. The hidden ache you carry is that you have always wanted your life to matter. You have always wanted to leave something behind that outlasts you. You have feared dying invisible, forgotten, having made no impact at all. That fear can rest now. Your life is already beginning to matter in ways you cannot yet see. Seeds you planted in past conversations are already growing in people you have forgotten about. And what is ahead will multiply that impact 100 times over. You are not going to be forgotten. You are going to be remembered by people whose names you will never know. People who will tell their children about the moment someone like you changed everything for them. Here is the truth no one says out loud. Legacy is not built by the loudest voices. It is built by the ones who show up when it counts. And you're about to become that person for more people than you can imagine. If you accept this mission, if you are ready to let your survival become someone else's hope, type "I am ready" in the comments right now. Let that be your declaration that this is no longer just about you. And what I am about to leave you with in this final section is a blessing I do not speak over just anyone. Look at what you just walked through with me. When you started this video, you carried the weight of confusion, wondering why your life had been so hard, wondering why the people around you seemed to have it easier, wondering if your pain had any meaning at all. And now, you know. You know that you were being tested. You know that you passed when others could not. You know that the silent season was shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you have ever been. You know that the people who overlooked you simply could not see what you carry. And you know that what is coming for you is bigger than anything you have lost. You are not the same person who pressed play on this video. Something shifted inside you while you listened. A lie was broken. A truth was planted. And a door was opened that cannot be closed again. You now carry a knowing that was not there before. You understand your own story differently. The pain makes sense now. The isolation makes sense now. The delays and the disappointments, and the moments when you almost gave up, they all make sense now. They were never working against you. They were working for you all along. Before you go, stay with this one last message carefully. This may be the most important thing spoken in this entire video. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not disqualified. You are exactly where you need to be, and everything that happens next is going to prove it. The wait is over. The preparation is complete. The version of you that the fire created is ready to walk into the life that has been held for you. Do not shrink back now. Do not let doubt creep in and steal what was just deposited into your spirit. Stand tall in what you now know about yourself. Everything you just heard, you already knew it. Deep inside, you just needed a voice to remind you that it was always true. If this message found you at the right time, if it spoke to something you have been carrying in silence, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Not because I need numbers, B-U-T, because there are more messages like this waiting for you. And the next one might arrive on the exact day you need it most. Hit the like button to mark this moment. Let it be a timestamp in your life that says this was the night everything changed. Now type 1212 in the comments to claim the miracles that are already on their way to you. Let that be your final seal. Let that be your agreement with everything spoken over you tonight. Go forward, chosen one. Your time has come.